I'm with Houston County Probate Judge Pat Davenport, and March 3rd is a primary election. Would you explain primary versus general election and what people should expect on the ballot?
Right, I get a lot of questions, Ricky, about the difference between why is a primary as opposed to the different rules related to a general election. A primary is essentially a party's election. So for instance, this is the Republican Party and the Democrat Party's election that the government is administering for them. So consequently, in some states, you register as a Republican or you register as a Democrat. You don't pre-register in Alabama to have a party affiliation. But when you go to the poll and you request a ballot, for instance, if you request a Democrat ballot, for that voting cycle, that election cycle, which would be the primary and the runoff, you're affiliating with that Democrat Party. So consequently, you're saying, for this election cycle, I'm a Democrat, and then you are allowed to participate in the Democrat primary. You can vote for the Democrats in that primary and in that runoff. You cannot then vote for the Republicans in the runoff because you've affiliated as a Democrat. And we get a lot of questions about that because folks will want to vote for one individual in one race and then another individual from a different party in that same race. You can't do that in a primary because these are essentially party elections.
So whatever you vote on March 3rd, you will have to vote on March 31st.
Years ago, you were allowed to crossover vote. In recent years, the legislature has passed rules that prohibit crossover voting. So whatever ballot you request on March the 3rd, you'll only be, if you choose to vote in the runoff, you'll only be given the opportunity to receive that same party's ballot.
Then in November is what's called the general election.
That's right. The general election, you can vote for any individual, whether they be a Republican, Democrat, or independent, or you even have the prerogative of writing in a candidate's name.
I'm going to throw one more cog in it, try to help explain, but in some of the races, there's only two candidates. Like I'm thinking of one that's a particular Republican race. There's only two Republican candidates, so March 3rd, that race is over.
That's right. As long as there is a majority returned in a race, that candidate will win. If not, there'll be a runoff for the two top vote getters, and that runoff is March the 31st.
Thank you.